EVP I got real quick.
Oink,
It
oink.
was actually on accident. That's how I started doing it. I'll tell you how. I was recording my kid's dad, and I was being a jerk, and like just going back and forth and random stuff. I think I might have been high, to be honest. I was probably like 13,
Oh, Lord.
13 or
Really?
14.
Oh. What?
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, I was an idiot. Well, anyways, that ain't the point. The point was when I
Okay.
played it back, I kept thinking it was me talking, and he's like, "That's not you," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is," because I just heard a female, you know. And he's like, "No, that's not you." So I rewound it, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" Because it sounded like another language, but not like any language that makes sense.
Oh,
Like
don't
in the
tell me
human
it's...
language, it's just really weird. I don't know how to explain it. So
I
then
think...
me and his little brother started to record, right? But we would record in other rooms too, because they all three had these like regular stereos with the tape recorders and stuff like that, and I used to just record the radio and stuff, but they all had microphones too. Well, the weird thing was we could only pick up stuff on my bed. We couldn't in the bathroom or his brother's room or anywhere else. And the bed we had this giant blood stain. Don't know where that came from, because the bed was given to us. But
Oh, Lord, maybe it came from,
freaking, like,
Bed.
what was really weird was we would make sure nobody went upstairs while we were doing it, right? So that we didn't get anything that was unauthentic and stuff like that. And a lot of the recordings, because we would let the tape record all the way, and then me and James would fight over who was going to go upstairs and get the tape, because we were pussies, me and his brother. And then, like, one of us would go get it, and then we'd play it in the kitchen with the lights on and everything. And we would keep getting weird whispering, so it sounded like several things. It sounded like a kid, it sounded like a woman, like a man, like, there'd be, like, all kinds of stuff. One of them said, "Get out," very clear. That one scared me to death. Like, I played it. Yeah, I didn't get out. I played it through a phone to my mom, and she's like, you need to get out there." And I'm like, "Well, I can't get out right now." And then what made me stop doing it for years was the last recording I ever got, which scared me to death. Because there's no explanation of it whatsoever, and I wish to God I still had the tape. Because the last time we did it, right, we were listening through the whole thing. There wasn't really anything in it. Oh, and also another thing, the dogs would bark. They had a million chihuahuas. The chihuahuas would go in my room non-stop and just bark at nothing. And I'm like, what? And I wouldn't notice it because you couldn't hear it downstairs. So, like, the last tape we had done, it was towards the end. You start to hear a heartbeat. There's no fucking way a stereo can pick up a heartbeat. It sounded like it was through a stethoscope. And it's like, it gets louder and louder and louder. And then this girl screams like bloody murder, which nobody heard in real life, you know. And then the tape ends. And I'm like, what? And like, I couldn't sleep that night. I think I slept on the couch or something. I was freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to go up there. And I just quit recording for a long time.
Yeah, I
You
think
know
that's a
what?
good
I
idea
would
to
just quit life for a little bit.
It was so scary, and I didn't know how to explain it.
I don't know how to explain it.
I thought there was a pedophile at my,
Whoa, we're on
door,
ghost
but it was
stories.
actually a giant cat.
You just lied.
I'm sorry, I thought it was, but it was a giant cat. Like,
Breakfast, still need suburbs? Breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
You still need suburbs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Search the zone for gore go giggles.
Anybody else have a ghost story?
I
have one more.
I don't need to do a suburban, but we can do whatever.
Oh shoot.
I was just playing
it's already
PlayStation.
starting out, let's just play it.
And I have like these lights. It's not like a light bulb. It's like one of those long lights that you've seen people, idiots, smash on their friends' heads. And it's like
I know exactly
a clear
what you're talking
thing.
about. Yep.
Yeah, they're found in schools sometimes.
It makes me think backyard wrestling.
Well, there's one singular version behind my bar. I have a bar in my basement. And there's one of them just right above it, and I remember I was just chilling, and I heard it like drop,
Yeah.
and they're like nailed.
Ugh.
Like literally heard it just, I heard it slam, and I freaked out, and then it happened again a couple days later, and then
Jesus.
that was terrifying because I didn't want to look behind me because I didn't want
Yeah.
to see anything. I was freaked out. And then one of my dad's little figures he has down, he has like a whole cool little thing. He's not like a collection nerd, you know, all of his
Yeah.
Luigi's. He has some like,
Searching for adventure and the thrill of battle.
He has what? Oh, he's not in here yet. He's connecting.
Yeah.
Come on, connect. I want to finish your story.
I know, right? We're just waiting for the finish.
Something
That
weird has been
sucks.
He
happening
just
in this
doesn't
zone.
connect.
There he is.
The
Alright,
husk
finish
encampments are
the...
going berserk and spawning huge waves of enemies. Whatever's
See?
happening, we need to stop it from spreading. When you find an active encampment, be ready to fight until the end. According to my data, we have 20 minutes to neutralize the target. Search the zone and keep an eye out for any encampments that look angrier than usual. I'll keep an eye out from here.
I don't think it's gonna be all connect. Can somebody else tell a story? There's a
Alright,
chest on a mountain. I've never seen
um,
this.
Mine's not really a story.
Mm.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to think. What did I even say?
Yours not even a story?
No, I'm trying to think of what to say.
okay, sorry.
Oh, there he is. Hold it.
Yep, sorry. So,
You got time to think.
I know.
oh, what was I gonna say? So, the little football player thingy, it looked like it was thrown across the room, and we were like, why is there no head? Like, the head of it was attached.
What?
And they're like glued with super glue, or some type of glue that's really hard to rip.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you super glued your fingers to each other, and it would be like days to get the little fingers detached.
I get mine
was
detached
just-
right
it
away. That
looked like-
scares me.
That's what she said. And then all of a sudden, we're looking around, like, okay, this is weird, but maybe it just fell and the head was loose.
Yeah.
And we found it in the corner behind my bar, placed perfectly, so when you look at it, it looks like it was looking at you.
Wow. That is
So
creepy.
that's a couple things that have happened. Like, not much has happened, but
Yeah.
ever since like that, I still have like little, oh, I got one more for you guys because my house is kind of sus. Me and my sister were watching TV.
My
Oh,
old house is
sus.
tough.
And me and my sister were watching TV, and it sounded like a grown man was walking down the stairs. And we
No.
looked, and my dad wasn't there. And whenever you walk on like our stairs leading up
Found one. Check out your map.
to our rooms, since there's no
Yeah.
carpet, if you have carpet leading to your upstairs, you're kind of weird. Only downstairs. But they're like kind of, there's a couple stairs that creak a little bit, but not a lot. So if anything puts pressure on a couple of those stairs, it's gonna creak.
Yeah.
And cats were asleep. Dog was asleep. I didn't think we had a dog, but every animal, every animal, majanimal, every gender of the house was asleep.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks. And it sounded like at least like a 250-pound guy was walking down the
Jesus.
street. Yeah, walking down the stairs.
That would scare me. Very
My
bad.
old house is fucked up.
A lot of people have seen stuff in the corner of my room, which scares me, and like, I'm not lying at all, I promise you. One day I was sitting here, and it's right where my TV is, my PlayStation and everything. I was sitting here, right? And it looked like I heard a sound, and I looked over, and something on the freaking, like, stand that everything's on had, like, lifted and then just dropped right in front of my eyes, and I'm like, am I tripping? Like, it scared the fucking hell out of me.
I did it. There's no way. Did that actually
I
happen?
promise, yes.
Oh my god. Did you say it looked like something was perched?
It looked like something got lifted and then just dropped. It freaked me out.
That's weird. I mean,
So weird. I mean,
it's always an old house that has some creepy stuff in it. Like my house
Not really.
in the other state.
I don't think
Oh,
this
well.
house is that old. I just think it's me. I think something's following me.
Take out the enemies to clear the encampment.
You know
It
what?
doesn't matter where I live.
You know what? Maybe you're a person that can see dead people.
I don't see them. I see shadows sometimes. That's what it
One
is.
down.
Exactly.
Let's find the next one.
Ugh.
The next encampment might be stronger. Make sure your weapons
Wow.
and ammo
Sorry
are
to put
ready
that
to
in
go.
your mind, but it could be.
No.
it can't just be her though, because
Yeah, I smell things a lot. Like, that freaks me out. Like,
one of the
things
things I
that-
have to do with my grandma.
If it smells like something
Like-
dead, you need to get out of there.
15 minutes
See,
to
that's
complete
what
the mission.
somebody said about the garlic thing. They said I could have been actually smelling like sulfur, which means there's a demon, not something nice.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Like you gotta get out of that place then. If it smells like a
smell
dead
it.
animal,
I smelled garlic, but they were saying I could have
I
been
smelled my
mistaking it
grandma's
for like a
perfume.
demon or something. Oh.
My grandma used to wear this certain perfume, right? And there was this one night where I was laying in bed, I was asleep, and like, I felt something at the bottom of my bed, like, you know when you put pressure on it?
Yeah.
huh?
I
Yeah,
felt
you're
that,
gonna feel that.
fresh, and fucking, I woke up, and I could smell my grandma's perfume,
Oh.
and I ran into my mom's rooms, crying, saying, "Grandma's dead, Grandma's dead,"
Oh
and
Lord.
What is she? Was she alive
She
still?
died that night. Yeah, she
That
died that
reminds
night.
me of what happened to my
They figured it out.
mom.
They found
Oh
out she
my
died that
God.
day.
So she visited you, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
kind of like,
basically
oh
she
my.
came to say goodbye. Basically,
That's
what
kind
he
of
Wow.
said.
that's kind of nice. That's like
Oh. That's
that's-
exactly
And-
what happened to my mom. That was so scary.
And fucking like 3 weeks later, I found I woke up to a letter on the side of like on the little table next to my bed saying "I miss you," and I'm like, holy shit.
Oh.
I'm like, get the fuck out. I was like,
That's
I think it was like 10 at this
sweet.
point. Oh.
it is. It's cute. That's
Yeah,
super
but as a 10-year-old kid,
Yeah.
That's freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom got
I
scared
was
too.
scared as fuck. I left. I told my parents I was not staying in that house.
I need help at this encampment. I didn't know it was a part of the mission. It's gonna be hard. I'll tell you something in a second. I'm trying to fight.
Now that I think about it, like, I
Ah,
was like, oh,
ah.
she came to see me before she before she left. But like, at that age, I was like, fuck this
I
shit. I'm
still
out.
think about my grandma. She's like 95 and she's not doing too great. She's really like.
Ever
At
since
least
then,
she's 95 though.
I actually had a really nice dream.
I just don't know.
recently.
Like I always think like maybe
just
tomorrow.
had-
ever
Dream
since
again?
then,
No, then like recently.
Oh.
Okay, so like a good thing to balance out all the
Oh, I
weird
hate
shit that's
thinking
going
about
on.
Ow.
A little while ago, I was gonna say too recently, but pretty recently, I had a dream, and what it was I just entered this room, and it was a blank
Two down.
room
Let's find the next
except
one.
for a phone.
The encampments are getting stronger.
And
Make sure you're
when I
prepared.
picked it up, I would hear
My
old
gra-
conversations I used to have with
Found the
my
next one.
grandpa.
Check out your map.
Oh.
That I used to have,
That's
and I actually
awesome.
started crying. And when I woke up,
Oh.
like my mom woke me up because she said she heard me crying.
So that makes me think of like a
Um,
spirit just talking to you in your sleep, and maybe you interpret it as a dream or something. And maybe they are like watching over you and talking to you.
Yeah, but I would just
You
recall
pick up
memories of
way
like,
more in your sleep than when you're awake. I think your mind's actually smarter when you're asleep, unless I'm just talking shit, but I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere.
Probably. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it because if you're dreaming about the stuff you think about, you're probably using more of that brain than you do.
Well,
in
I've
real life.
had dreams that come true, so that makes me think that, yeah, like in my sleep I'm a freaking psychic.
Possible. Who knows?
I was gonna tell you a story about my mom and her grandma.
Your
She
mommies?
said it was like She said like in her, she showed me the house when we were going to Heber Heights one day because my grandma had moved from that house, so it was a house when they were kids. But she never liked that
Yeah.
house, she told me. She knew like the neighborhood, there was a couple weird things that happened to her, but I'll tell you like what happened with her grandma.
Round
What
3.
happened
Fight!
was she shared a room with her sister, right? And she said her curtains was like a bright yellow. Her room was always lit really bright in the morning and stuff. So she wakes up in the morning and she said she's seen like a full freaking figure of a ghost. Like she couldn't make out its face though. She said its face looked like kind of like a fog over it or something, but she seen like a pretty dress and everything. Like she could see everything else. And
Yeah.
then she said like she was so scared
You're
and
done,
frozen that she just
encampment!
stood there, or she laid
This one's
there
looking
for like
tough.
a few
You can
minutes
do it.
staring at it, making sure she wasn't tripping. And it wasn't going away, it was just in her
Found
doorway.
one. Check out your
So
map.
then she said like she ended up laying under the blankets till her sister
10
woke
minutes
up
left.
because they were in
Stay
the
the
same
course.
bed. And she said like Lisa woke up and was like, "What are you doing?" And she like told her, but she told her not to tell their parents because their parents would think she's crazy or something. And then she
Yeah.
said like a couple hours later somebody called and said that her grandmother passed away. And I'm like, that is nuts.
Yeah.
It's like her
It's like,
grandma's soul visited her before she actually passed away.
Yeah. Or it might have been right when she passed away because they don't really know when. They just they
Right, and then they
found out
figured
and
out
called her.
a couple
Well,
hours
called
later.
grandma, her mom.
I still find letters like when I wake up sometimes.
That was crazy. Did you have a strong connection with your grandma? Because that's gotta take a lot of
Yeah,
energy
like
to write a letter.
I used to like stay there all the time, and like when I wasn't staying there, I would always go see her like pretty much
Oh,
every day.
I'm about to give you some crack.
I thought you were gonna like. I thought you were just saying that as like to make him feel better.
No.
I mean, it doesn't affect me now, but like it doesn't frighten me now, but like still, back in the day, I was frightened as shit. And like
I was
about
gonna
a
say
month
now
ago,
you
I
should be
found a letter.
happy because I dabbled with Ouija boards like an idiot trying to get a hold of my dad.
Oh my god, no wonder you
But
have a connection with spooky stuff.
no, this was way after all that stuff happened. Like I just started doing it the past few years, but
Keep
it
that
doesn't
streak
do
going.
anything. I'm like these movies are full of shit.
You're doing it wrong.
I've done it every way you can. The only time it's ever worked is if I'm with my son, and I think maybe. See, there's a thing they did a special on Ouija boards where they went to like these witches that were acting like they had the best Ouija boards in the world, and then they tested it on these people in a hotel that knew of a story that happened there,
Four in a
and they kept
row.
getting answers,
Amazing.
right? So
Get ready
then
for
they
more, Commander.
blindfold the people, and they're not spelling a damn thing
Found one.
because they
Check out your
flipped it
map.
upside down. So they went to like psychologists and all kinds of stuff. There's actually a thing, like if you're thinking of an answer or anything like that too much, you're gonna involuntarily your hand's gonna move and spell it out for you.
I just got a mimic.
Nice.
The gifts are downstairs.
I literally looked at you like slowly fill
But
up.
I mean, I believe other people about Ouija boards. Like my mom had a really scary Ouija board story, and she is so mad that I got one. She goes off all the time. Well, I have two, because I got an older
I am
one, because
also
the first
mad.
one wasn't.
Downstairs.
I don't think I plan on getting one.
It didn't do anything.
I'd
I don't
rather have nothing
I do
happen.
not want one.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I'm kind of
Be able to buy my
scared.
Toys R Us.
I'm kind of scared of having them. But I've
I
only
mean, you
tried
need to
it
buy
probably.
them at
I've
Toys R
tried them
Us.
like 2 or 3 times.
Why, you crackhead? What were
I
you
tried it
thinking?
once and I will never do it again.
That's how my mom was too. 'Cause something bad happened to her.
Well, the person that said was they were well, that got spelled out was the devil. Well, as in Satan. And he said that he was gonna kill us.
See, when I did it with Marcus, it said something satanic like that, and I was like, man, he's gotta be playing a trick on me. Because it didn't work with anybody else.
I was the only.
I don't even know if he
It
was
was
playing a
me and
trick.
my
I
friend.
think he might have been accidentally moving his hands, because when I make him close his eyes and stuff, it would stop moving.
We both had our eyes closed and like
Destroy.
we had someone standing there reading what it was saying and recording it.
I
Found an
recorded too,
Just
and
to
I
make
didn't
sure.
Check out
get
the map.
nothing while I was using it. And I usually can
That
get
happened.
recordings easily.
That happened to me, and I was fucked up. I'm never doing that shit
What
again.
happened to my mom was actually the scariest story I've ever heard. That's why it took me so long to get one. But I wanted to talk to my dad so freaking bad that I was just like, fuck it. I got ripped off by a medium on Facebook too. And she had to pay me back though because it was through PayPal. And they're supposed to like promise to do this and that.
5 minutes
And I
left.
could tell she was Googling because I was Googling at the same time. So right when she told me the first result, that was the first result on Google. It had nothing to do with my dad.
Yeah.
So, like, I complained to the moderator, they made her pay me back or they were going to kick her out of the group because those people get paid on there.
Yeah.
So that's why I got one. But what happened to my mom was, like, she played with her friend Judy. Her friend Judy's crazy to this day, and I do think it is because the Ouija board, because Judy played them all the fucking time. And I guess,
This is the big
what
time.
had
Get
happened?
ready.
My mom said she was staying the night with Judy. Judy always asked her to play it. She'd always say no, but she kept begging her and begging her and begging her. So that night she played it with her. And Judy's mom was there, but she was in another room. And I guess they're in the kitchen with the lights out and they got candles lit. My mom said the candle flame kept shooting high, high, high in the air like she's never seen anything happen before. There was no wind or nothing. And then she said like the lights were turning on and off. And then she was asking questions about her real father, because he had already passed away, and it was lying, and all kinds of stuff. And I guess, oh, it told her to beware of fire. My mom's scared to death of fire, because she felt fire go through her arm when it said that. And then she told Judy, I'm done, I don't want to play it. Well, and Judy kept trying to get her to play, but she's like, no, I am done. And mom's friend wasn't thinking, I guess, when they were going to bed. And she set it like straight under my mom's bed, because they were on two different beds. My mom said she woke up and she was like looking at her own self, and she said she had to jump
keep
up and
pushing on.
shake,
We
and
must
it
clear the
freaked
zone.
her out so bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Yeah, it was the
Found one.
scariest
Check
story
out
I
your
ever
map.
found or heard. But she said it felt like something went through her, and then she was looking down at herself, and I'm like, oh my god.
Like something took over her for a second.
Yeah, and she said like a week after that, right? It was
Like,
her,
almost like
Judy, and their
she died.
friends. Well, it was her, Judy, and her friends, and they were trying to get my mom to smoke weed. My mom would smoke every now and then back then, but my mom said no because she was going home. My mom is lucky. They laced it with PCP. Judy's been crazy ever since. Because
Like
some people
mentally
can't
crazy?
handle it. Yes, like she cusses at her mom, her daughter, everything. Her mom has to take care of her kid. She cusses everyone out. She's cussed my mom out, and my mom said Judy was like the sweetest person in the world before that happened. Like
So your
my
mom could have been mentally unstably insane if she took that.
yeah. And my mom said she had really weird thoughts after she used the Ouija board for a while, and like she kept going to churches and they kept like praying for her and stuff.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does photo negative
2 minutes
do
before I have to
anything?
pull you out.
Hmm?
Does photo negative do anything for stuff like that?
Does what?
Photo negative?
Yeah, it can do.
What are
For
you talking
like
about?
seeing paranormal stuff.
He knows.
Are you talking about like when it's like in a different
No, like if you have a quarter and it has different settings and you set it to for that mode or that filter, can it see stuff?
yeah, that's what I was wondering if you're saying. I'm not sure.
Because I was wondering if photo negative did that.
I don't know.
It can do,
It
yeah.
might be able
Because,
to, because they use like night vision and pick stuff up, or heat vision, that's what it was.
Because I do have a camcorder I got a long time ago, and it doesn't have a lot of filters, but it has photo negative.
It probably would. I
Because
used
it
to
also
take a lot of
works,
pictures
like,
around me whenever I felt
underwater as
weird.
well.
Oh, that's
It
cool.
works like 10 feet underwater.
That's sick.
I just have to turn the white mode, the water mode on.
I'm trying to think of anything else
Here
that
it comes.
happened to
30
me.
seconds left.
The rest was just minuscule, like when I'd play the game it always smelled like cologne, and my mom told me it was my dad, and then it smelled of garlic like I was saying, but somebody told me that could have been sulfur, and I don't know the smell of sulfur, I'd have to look into it. It smelled like
I don't know
really
what
strong
sulfur
garlic,
smells like. I don't know.
though.
Yeah, that's what sulfur smells like though.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That
That's
should do
scary.
it.
My hands are sweating, I'm getting nervous.
I told you your house is haunted, but it's fine.
Shut up!
It's all good.
Sure it is.
It's all gonna be okay. It's just fine.
Yeah, it's
So
just
is everything
fine.
okay?
Everything's fine to be haunted. You know,
Everything's
it's all good.
so fine.
It's fine. I don't live there.
Fuck you!
Yeah, that's what my cousin says whenever she drives me somewhere, because my step-cousin, she drives me around places a lot, and she's like, I'm like, well, what if something, like, and then she'll bust out we, and like, well, and then, like, my friends are like, yo, could I have some? I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? And then, like, and then my cousin's just like, sure, you go ahead, but if you get caught, that's not my problem, you're not my kid.
I don't think your house has something good in it. This says, well, starts with the worst type of overworldly smell, that of demons. A demonic smell is often described
That's not
as terrible
here.
something.
That was my last house. I haven't smelled
something
anything.
rotten, or
The only
perhaps
thing I
like
smelled here is
sulfur,
my ratchet brother's room.
like sulfur, or dead corpse. Some say possessive smell, but usually that seems like more trouble. So you were kind of dealing with a demon in that house.
Sure was. There was also a guy that was a really mean guy, which could have brought on that type of energy.
Right. Who knows? I mean, sulfur is a smell. Well, I got nothing during that, like, V-Bucks wise. I need one more enchantment, or whatever, Cheshire, and then I get 30 V-Bucks. Then I'm at 500 V-Bucks, 510 V-Bucks.
I just got 900 now I have 900 V-Bucks.
I'm getting kind
You
of.
got what?
Nothing.
I completed some challenges, or the rest of my challenges, so now I have like 900
Did you
V-Bucks.
say you got 900 V-Bucks?
Yeah.
Damn it! How many challenges did you have?
3.
How'd you get
How did
900?
it-
So that's how much he has right now after completing.
Oh, I got 265, but that's because I got the 156 signing on. And then
I also
did my
completed
daily.
the
How many more mimics do I need? I should only need like 1 or 2. Yeah, I need 2. That'll put me
the
at
mimic
300.
got completed twice for me, so
I gotta
need
get
to-
8 at a time.
We gotta do a ride the light mission.
Okay. I'll put it on. Here, I'll make you later again. So you can get to the one you need. Cause
It
on
just says
mine,
any complete ride the light mission.
well,
19 plus.
just hit X on it and it'll take you straight to it.
yeah.
Does anybody else have a ghost story while I have it on ghost stories so I'm not clickbaiting? I'd have to think.
Well, there was one thing that.
Well, I think I got
it.
it.
You think
I have a
what?
question. Is it true that you can't touch a ghost, but a ghost can touch you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well,
What if they
certain
like?
ghosts can't, poltergeists can.
Okay, so let's say one tried to give you a blowy. Like,
Oh boy.
when people walked in, how would they react? Would they think that you're doing it?
No, not really.
No, not if your hands are like above your head and stuff.
Oh
Because they
lord.
would see, and they'd be
I
like,
mean, that
oh,
would be
whoa.
weird, but like, how do you? That would be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be pretty weird.
Like, you just wake up.
There's a
know.
movie where this guy gets raped by a ghost.
It
That
tastes like
part's
cherry
pretty
coke,
weird.
so I drink it.
I'm about to Google does garlic smell like sulfur,
I mean,
because that does have
it's
me
not
creeped
empty
out.
at all. It's more than halfway.
Because I don't
I
know
really
what
just want to
sulfur
stop
smells
talking
like.
about this.
But I'm streaming.
Well,
I
What?
don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, and I want to sleep tonight.
I don't talk about it anymore.
Oh.
I mean, everyone needs me if I taste like water.
Well, do you want me to change the stream?
Yeah,
You
so
don't have
let's
to.
change the subject. We need a new subject.
No, sulfur smells like rotten eggs. So yeah, I was just smelling garlic.
So Garfield.
Alright, let me change the name.